Hi everyone, day 6 tutorial here today, and as you can see from the title, I'm making a stocking. This one is made out of paper. So I've got these two pieces of paper here, just having a play with just roughly drawing it out. Stocking is a pretty simple shape to draw and to cut out that I didn't really bother too much. I wanted to make sure that I made it as wide as I possibly could with still balancing that shape so that it didn't look like, that your ankle and your calf is the size of an elephant and your foot is the size of an elf. Like, you got to make it realistic enough with what's going on. So I did originally think I was going to fill it with all this adhesive products, so that's why I've just measured it as such alongside that tape. But in the end, I work out that that's not going to fit in the stocking without breaking it, and instead add that adhesive pack to a later day's present in a different format. So if you're watching Korean, and I know you haven't received that present yet, then you've been given a little clue as to what one of the days is, but I'm not going to let you know what day it is. So I just cut out the back there, making sure that I had the pattern the right way, because obviously if you cut it and your pattern is the wrong way, then the boot is going to not line up the way you wanted it, and you might end up having to use the other side when you weren't intending to. Now, of course, I cut really badly, so when I did use my double-sided tape and stuck it together, I do need to trim it a bit to make sure that it's all even. And I went through, and after day 1 of making that texture kit, I wanted to make sure I stapled it, because I knew, well, at this stage I'm going to put all the glue products in, so I knew it was going to be pretty full and chunky, and I didn't want it to rip open at sections or be a problem. So the staples helped a lot, and this is some red ribbon. I thought that would be a nice, easy way to trim, like add some trim to the edges. Just using some glue just to stick it on. I do fight with the glue severely, and it just drove me mad. It's sort of like it had little chunks of dried glue all through the glue, not just in the nozzle. It was weird because I'd clean the nozzle out and it'd work really fine, and then all of a sudden it'd be clogged again, and I had to clean out the nozzle and pull out chunks of dried glue, and I'm like, why is this it's like, I don't know. It was really bizarre. I don't know how. I don't know why. I haven't used the glue since because it annoyed me so much that night. Luckily, I have a few choices of wet glue. Anywho, rant over. I'm just going through, and I do need to pleat some of where it's curving, because it's ribbon. It's obviously not made to do that so easily, but that's okay. We get there in the end. Just making sure, the wet glue takes a little bit to dry, so you have to hold it for a bit. Anyway, we've come to the end. Aren't you lucky that you didn't have to witness me fighting with the glue and fighting with the ribbon? However, you did get to hear me rant and complain about it. So lucky. Anyway, just making sure that these little pleated sections are glued down as best as possible. I don't know if this is a reusable gift other than like the stocking part, other than to re-gift it and pack it and send it off as Happy Mail again. It might be you could decorate it. I guess you could probably fill it with some tissue paper and have some pine needles and holly and berries. Yeah, that's what it's called. The green stuff and berries? Yeah, it must be. The leaves must be called holly and the berries are the berries. So you could easily do that as a display decoration. That could be something that could work. I don't know. Let us know down below, Corinne, if what your plan is for the stocking. Anyway, while I've just pondered, everything, I have used this lovely little lace here, so it's red with some gold through it. This is actually like a wide roll. I don't know if we've seen it when I cut it, but it actually is labelled as a table runner from the cheap dollar shops in the shop centre, And my first thought was, wow, that's not something I would use as a table runner, but that's very cute, and it's something I would use as texture in any scrapbooking projects for Christmas. So I forgot that I actually had it until I brought out my Christmas goodies the other day, and I was pleasantly surprised. It is a very lovely, and I love it. So just cutting it down because the double layer did not stick to the double-sided tape, so now I'm just scrunching it back up, laying it down the way it was. You've seen I tried a few different things on top. I knew it needed like something in the middle, running through the middle, but the crepe paper wasn't the right thing, even though I tried 2 colours. The washi tape wasn't strong enough, but also it was like too flat and see-through. I tried this green tree trim, which I absolutely love. Some white paper I thought maybe I'd cut down. And then I find the perfect the perfect item. Some ribbon. So this is like a, it sort of feels like calico kind of a feel. It's quite thick, but also not, not terrible feeling. So I just hold that down for a little bit with the wet glue, and then we're in business. Adding a fishtail banner. That way it doesn't just randomly end. There's lots of glue, so then I add this one here, but I don't think that one stays on there. Nope, it does not. And then my wet glue is just not loving the layers. So staple it down, and using my staple as a squashing mechanism to make sure the glue dries. So I'm just going to fill it with some paper towel, just because I don't want things to fall down the bottom. And that way it looks like a fat stocking that's filled with all sorts of goodness. And I am going to fill it with these pens. So grabbed a couple of pens from Big W, white ones, some paint pens, a gold brush pen, an Echo Line it was called. Most of these pens, if I'd brought one for Corinne, I also brought some for myself, because why not? And then I just go and grab a few more pens from my stash. I have like ridiculous amount of pens that most of them haven't even been used or even opened, and that is where these group of Sharpies come from, which I then put in loosely and then go, well, that looks just divine, not. And instead I pull them out, add a ribbon to them, that way they don't get lost, and stick it back in the top, and that is the cuteness that's going on. Oh, that's right. I did try a doily, which, looking at that now, it actually looked really nice. Put the doily around it and then tie it with twine. It looked really nice. But it's going to look nice with this white doily. So never fear, even myself, I'm going, why did I change my mind? So just using more of that red ribbon, ties in with obviously the stocking. Just adding a pretty little bow. I don't fuss around with the bow too much, because you can see it's actually sideways, but it's mostly there to hold it and to just be decorative for a second. I'm sure once she pulls it out, it will either pull itself off, or she'll pull it off quickly to look at what is in the package. So that's nearly finished. I do add just a little bit of finishing touches. I was thinking it needed some little cluster or title, or, I don't know what it thought. It just seemed like a lot of space, like that wasn't decorated really. So I tried some double layered doilies, and then I just settle on a simple white tag that I write on and I stick to the top. So I'm just going to write for all your writing needs, because apparently that's not obvious that pens are for your writing ability. And I, do my inverted commas scripty writing. And forget a word, because that's really grammatically great. But that's okay. I'm going to do it all again. And I don't know why I didn't edit that out. Aren't you lucky? So I went smaller this time, because I figured it was too much. Adding in a pop of gold, just to tie in with those reindeers. And I'm going to write the same thing just smaller. Got a different brush pen for all your writing and drawing needs, and a squiggly line for emphasis. So just going to attach it. We're going to work out how to attach it to start with. Work it out, work it out. Really, looks like I didn't even edit this last few moments. Maybe, sorry, I don't know why. It's so slow. Anyway, it's coming to the end. I just stick this on with some double-sided foam tape, and that way she can take it off if she really wants to use it again. And this is the beautiful finished product for day 5. I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Jolly old Saint Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say.